It's gonna take a bit, sorry. Click on the three dots. Three dots.
Historical learning.
Live on YouTube.
Somebody posted a picture of a Nokia phone that's embedded in asphalt. And it's put the road down. And you check it out, it's just from the MySpace area. That's fun, you can throw it. I bet it would still power up. Probably would still work, yeah. You drop that
Okay.
thing all the time.
Here we go. See, it's going to loop. What?
You know, you have a big place, things out there. Rob bought faceplate. I did not. What green coats did you buy? And how did you sign with your phone all the time? Yeah.
Let's see. Well, I'm supposed to be able to do something. I don't know how to get there. If we start getting a echo, please let me know. I think we're good to go. Looks like we're doing okay. So we're recording and we're live. So Ms. Chairman, you can start at your will.
Okay, we'll call the March 14th, 2023 Planning and Zoning Commission meeting to order. First item is approve the February 14th, 2023 Planning Commission minutes.
Move to approve.
Moving on to item number 3, staff report.
We need to have a vote.
Oh, that's right. I miss that every time.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Same.
Now I'll move on to item number 3, staff report.
I apologize with Brandy and Linda both in training. I'm doing the notes and my side of it. So from a staff report, we've got 5 building permits, residential in the last 2 weeks. We had been silent for some time. And I saw again today that the interest rates for residential loans have dropped all the way down to 6 points as of today. So that's another thing that'll help a little bit. So we do have 2 of those 5 permits were issued in Diamond Creek, the new subdivision off of 6th Street. So that development is now moving forward. And we're continuing. The building side is continuing the inspections of the new construction that's going up for both McBee's and attic storage. And then the development or the public works side is still doing the inspection, some of it on McBee's when they're doing the infrastructure and for the Richardson Street Plaza stuff. And my understanding is they're short on product on some wall material. That's why they haven't moved forward with the rest of what they're doing at the Richardson Street Plaza stuff. One last thing that I would like to throw out that we will likely be needing to discuss at a future meeting is, as you can see on the KCIRV application here, there's going to be an extension of Commercial Street in the future, maybe 3 to 5 years. I don't know. It depends on when he gets construction up to the road. But then that road will extend and that will create a scenario where we have commercial that goes north and south from downtown all the way down to Shamrock Way, basically, and then it turns and it will go west. So we'll have an east-west and a north-south road, both of them the same name, causes all those other problems that we've had on those curve roads before. And we will likely be recommending that name change. It will literally impact only one business and no residents would be impacted. And it's that gas station at the corner there at Shamrock. Everything else is addressed off of 169. So
What's the cross street there?
that would be 148.
48th.
Yes. And the stuff south, the new street that goes in it by Fairview Crossing North, if that gets final approval, I think it's got one more vote. Maybe not.
It's
It passed. Yeah. Okay.
Uh,
Either
yeah.
way, its street that comes out will be 147th Street. So part of the reference for going to those 3-digit numbers is makes it easier for folks down in the city to know that Smithville isn't 16 miles away. Oh, it's only 147th Street, 148th Street. 35, 40 years ago, same thing was applied on the south end of town for Southern Overland Park, where 151st Street was. And you kind of knew how far you had to go to get there. So when you realize that it's only a few miles from where everything else is, it should help us from at least the understanding of people that will be willing to come up here a little more for shopping in the future. I have nothing further. If you have questions of me, please go ahead. Otherwise, we do have a citizen who has requested public comment on something that isn't on the agenda, just to throw it out and see how you want to go. So.
Yeah, and Jack, it was final plat was last week for Fairview Crossing North.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I kind of thought it was, but I didn't want to.
The only first readings we had were condemnations.
Okay. Okay. Then we're good on that.
Any other questions for staff? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to public comment. Do we have one, Mr. Owen?
Yeah.
I need for you to state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes.
Glenn Owen, address 8. Problem is Dundee, it's in the Lakeland Heights area. Dundee is only curved about a third of the way up that street. And then there's like 2/3 of it that's not curved at all. Just a bunch of driveways and manholes and property. So I just wanted to throw up some signals and let you know that I think that needs to be done, and worked on for planning purposes. That's about it.
Okay.
And Jack, who did you say I needed to get a hold of?
I will do it for you tomorrow. I'll notify the Public Works Director, Chuck
Okay.
Souls. And ultimately, if, as I told you before, this body wouldn't really be the one to make that determination. It would be the Board of Aldermen. And their next meeting's on Monday, April 3rd.
Okay.
Okay? But I will let the Public Works Director know tomorrow morning.
All right, thank you.
And I would say if you wanted to, Mr. Owen, you could come to that April 3rd April 3rd meeting and speak during public comment again as well. Thank
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to item number 4, site plan review, 14600 North 169 Highway, KCI RB. Do I have a motion and a second? So moved.
Second. Ding dong.
Hey, Jack, on this, since this is an amendment, do you want to, or an amending to it, do you want to give a brief overview of that, please?
Yes, I certainly will. I think I laid out everything pretty detailed in the staff report, but I wanted to go over it with you. Briefly to let you know, this was originally approved in 2018 for 9 buildings that were kind of smaller. During the process of construction, the applicant requested if he could build a bigger building, but fewer, keeping the square foot the same. And he started that process. And he's got 3 buildings up. You may recall he came in 2021 with the thought and hope to create an RV park at the front that might be something beneficial for bringing in customers, potential customers, and kind of capitalize on the Meta project. After further reflection, he has decided that he doesn't want to do that. The risks outweigh the rewards for him from his perspective. So he has now submitted a new plan that you have before you. And it is the sheet there that would increase the number of buildings from what is now approved on the other one at 6 total building on the 2021 version to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 buildings, varying in sizes, plus some outdoor storage area, all of which would be enclosed behind the storage screening fencing that we have. Based upon the application and reviewing the new code, the site plan review stuff, we have negotiated through some provisions with the applicant related to certain offsite improvements and onsite improvements for the street on the north side, which would be a commercial street extension. Given the way it lays out and the fact that it doesn't touch this property, the applicant has after we discussed it, the applicant is prepared to execute an agreement with the adjoining property owner that will identify who, when, where, and how that road gets constructed. 300 and some feet to his property line would be the responsibility of that property owner to his east. And if he moved before they did on development, he would construct their portion plus part of his, leaving their portion the length for them to do it. And then in order to get access to their site, they'd have to build the rest of commercial down to his property line. So effectively, we have an agreement in place that would allow the full construction of Commercial Street to the end of the property. It would also extend the water line to the end of the property. And over the weekend, we got the exhibit maps and stuff for the actual documents. The plan would be to have those ready to record sometime following a conditional approval by the board if this moves forward at the April 3rd meeting. And that would grant the city the right of way across all of them. Plus they would record a separate agreement that binds the two of them to work together on constructing that extra street section. One of the other things is we have, to make it simpler, we have requested and incorporated in our recommendation the original landscape calculations and documents. You have those, which includes the building facade treatment on the north and west sides, to go to the stucco look stuff that the board has in the past approved. All of the other aspects of this are the same. And in the landscaping, so for a landscaping question, there are two aspects of it. We have the original landscaping calculations are shown, focused primarily on the west side of the buildings and the north side that would be fronting on commercial. And then in their actual application, they have a similar scenario on the east side, even though it's all their property and there's several hundred feet to the highway. There is plan sometime in the future to maybe develop that in a different scenario. So I think that's part of the reason of a different buffering there. With all that included, staff's recommendation, as I indicated in the report, is that approval based upon meeting the requirements as identified in the staff report. The applicant is here if you have any questions.
Anyone have any questions for the applicant? Okay, seeing none.
Yeah, if you're ready for a vote, if there's no discussion or whatever, I'll do a roll call vote. So we'll start with Dennis. Alderman Chevalier. Chairman Wilson. Mayor Boley.
Aye.
He's gone. Deb Dotson
Aye.
and Rob.
Aye.
So that is a 6-0 vote in favor of it. This will go with a favorable recommendation from here to the Board of Aldermen on April 3rd. That is a Monday, not a Tuesday for anybody used to everything being on Tuesday, but because the election is that Tuesday, the 4th, board meeting's been moved up. That's all I have. If you all have anything further, otherwise we're good to move for adjournment on your time.
Motion to adjourn.
Okay.
Favor?
Voice vote.
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? No. Okay. Yeah, there we go. End the meeting. We're done.